Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name's Megan and today I'm going to talk about my Chanel 19. I love this bag. It was listed in my January favorites, but I did just get it in January. So, you know, it better have been my favorite because I had to just go on a no buy. Oh God, basically I could not spend a lot of money leading up to that purchase and for several months after this purchase. So it's been about 3 months and I wanted to share some of my thoughts on it. Basically, I love it. It's fantastic. I wasn't crazy about the leather versions of this bag. It just wasn't for me. I loved it on other people, but I tried it on in store once and was like, okay, you know, just not right for me clearly. It's just gonna be one of those bags that looks good on other people, but it doesn't drive me wild, but that's cool. My money is safe. I don't have to worry about that. But then I saw this bag. Now, if you've seen my other video, I'll link it down below, but you'll know that I was considering the Lady Dior. The next day, after trying on a bunch of them and just not feeling quite right about it, the next day I went into Chanel and I saw this. I loved it. I had already put the money aside for a Lady Dior, but it didn't feel right. I thought about it so much. I worked myself into knots just thinking I wanted it, but it was the bag I wanted to want. It was a whole thing. Maybe I'll still find one day, but when I saw this, my heart sang. It was comfortable, it was easy. You've probably noticed by now that I'm a really boring dresser. I mean, basic is my middle name. I'm wearing jeans and a cardigan. That's what I wear in most of my videos because that's what I wear most days. I have a lot of silk dresses and fancier things, but I mean, we're not wearing, I'm not wearing those things, you know, over the pandemic. I'm not putting on a dress in my own house, except maybe in the summertime I'll wear some of my looser silky things. But basically what I'm getting at is this bag goes with all of my outfits and it just adds something. It's a different texture. It has, you know, a few different colors in there where it's this really nice navy. It has a black base, so it goes with everything. But then it has the woven CC, which I love. I love this CC. I know that this distressed metal and mixed chain is not for everybody, but I love the woven CC. I'm really not into that big medallion-like hardware that you're seeing everywhere. For example, the 30 Montaigne, it's a beautiful bag, but I don't like the big chunky gold hardware in the middle. That's just my thing. Again, it's a great bag that looks great on other people, but this bag there's just something about it that I love. It's still in great condition. It has maybe fuzzed up a teeny tiny bit. Someone asked me about that, if it started to pill on the back with frequent use. I haven't noticed much of a difference. So here's the back. It has a really generous back pocket where I can fit my phone. The only thing I'll say is that cat hair clings to this bag. Just in case you have pets, I keep it tucked away. I keep it in its dust bag in a cabinet because the moment I take it out, just, you know, any cat hair clings to it. It's not that noticeable because of the different textures, because of the different colors on here. I love it, but it's holding up very well. It's not pilling a lot. Maybe just a teeny tiny bit, but I have used this loads and I did wear it all day walking around New York City once. It's a heavier bag, but it didn't cause me any discomfort. Probably towards the late afternoon. I mean, after walking around properly all day, I think my husband and we walked 8 miles that day. So probably around like the 7th mile, I started to feel the weight in my shoulder, but that's pretty good for a big, chunky, heavy bag. And you can always switch it up. You can carry it handheld. It just feels really natural in my opinion. So speaking of weight and the strap and all that stuff, I love this. I did not think it was for me. Something that's so cool about this bag is you see so many different YouTubers. Like I've said, I'm a really basic person. I just like simple clothes most of the time. White t-shirts, white silk tops, cardigans, you know, that's my jam most of the time. But this bag is loved by so many different YouTubers, people on Instagram who have vastly different style, you know. There'll maybe be some overlap between us, but you know, we're all pretty unique and we have our own we have our own style, and I think it's really cool that, you know, we're all still really enjoying this bag. So clearly it's really versatile. And if you find the color, the texture that's right for you, it can be such a good buy. So the chain, I love the chain. This is perfect crossbody on me. I'll say that if you just want to wear it as a shoulder bag, it does kind of slip off. I'll have drop length down in the description box, but I'm about 5'5" and a US dress size, like, I mean, it can be anywhere from 2 to 6, you know, just depending on how the designer wants to cut their clothes. But I can wear this crossbody perfectly. I love it. This little tab, it is quite short. It's softened up quite a bit. I love it. It fits perfectly on my shoulder. I've heard people say that they're worried that it's gonna like slip around, and based on where you want to wear your bag, maybe the chain will just be on your shoulder and that would be uncomfortable. I haven't had that happen at all. This stays perfectly on my shoulder, and whether I want the bag slightly more on the side or slightly more in front of me, it hasn't been an issue. I'll pop some pictures up here of me wearing the bag so you can see where it falls. I love it. So if you're worried about this and comfort, if you're worried about the strap, I personally really like that it's a small leather tab. I like that it doesn't extend down so that, you know, you don't see it really. It's just sitting on your shoulder, but when you're looking at the person head on, you just see this really cool chain going across their chest or on their shoulder, you know, so it's, I don't know, it just looks cleaner. The inside is huge. It's fantastic. This is the easiest Chanel bag in the world. It's so carefree. I think secondly, it would have to be the mini reissue in my opinion, which holds a lot, fuss-free, you know, just really flexible and soft. But this is just a big hole. I don't plan on getting an organizer for it. People have asked me that before. It doesn't feel really necessary yet. Maybe I'll eat my words in the future. But because this tweed is so thick, it feels quite robust. It feels really sturdy. I can't say how the lambskin or the goatskin ones hold up or how well they hold their shape, because they do seem a little bit more flexible than this. This is, it just seems to hold its shape well because the tweed is so thick. So it's just a big compartment. You can fit anything you'd want in here. So I have my phone, sunglasses. As I said, I walked around New York all day and I had this, no problems. I had everything I could want. Tissues, my French wallet. You can fit a full-size wallet. You can fit a big Continental wallet in here and you'll never have to switch it out. My notebook, it just keeps going. And I mean, I guess the only bad thing you could say is it's quite dark. I don't have any light coming down like right overhead right now, so it's a little bit dark in there. I also keep this little pouch for any knickknacks I want to carry around with me, like perfume, chapstick, my car keys. All of that fits in easily. I could fit in a pen. I could fit another phone in here, like let's say if you carry 2 for work. But right now, that's what we're looking at. Let's chuck a mask in there. You could fit a pen. So that is pretty fully packed. That is more than I would carry around with me typically. And if I had a card holder, which I have talked about plenty, I need to get a card holder because I love mini bags. But I would probably be able to put more stuff in here if you don't use a cloth bag like I do. If you use like a little leather pouch, that can fit in here easily as well. So just to unpack that, is there anything else I wanted to add? You do have a zippered compartment in here, easy to access, and it's actually pretty big. Most zipper compartments, I think I say this in every single review, look, there's a zipper compartment, I don't use it. Yeah, I've said that in like every single review, but that has a zippered compartment. But this one is actually pretty generous. It's very easy to go in and out. Has a nice solid zipper. You can actually put things in there that you want to be, I don't know, you want to keep more discreetly. If you want to put your house keys in there, your car keys, versus having them in a pouch, that's a really easy thing to do. So it's actually useful. And you have this back compartment, like I mentioned. What I normally do, so just to clarify, my phone does not want to fit down inside of it per se. Oh, there's a receipt in there. Huh. Yeah, it's good for receipts too. Okay, so my phone will fit flat in there, but because it's somewhat obstructing the magnet closure, just a little bit, which, you know, maybe unless you're in a busy city like New York, that really shouldn't matter. Like if you're walking around casually, you don't have a lot of people bustling by, you don't have to worry about pickpockets so much, this would be totally fine. Sometimes what I do is I have it like that. So I just have it half sticking up. It's super easy to access. You know, most of the time I'm not in an area where I have to be really worried about this. I don't live in New York City, by the way. Soon my husband and I are going to be moving. It's in June, which is another reason I have to be very careful about my spending over the next few months, and I mean just this year in general. We're going to be moving not too far outside New York, but I will often just keep my phone like that. Please ignore all the cracks in my phone. I don't really know if that was visible just then. But I love this bag. Okay, is that obvious? Also ignore the cat hair. That's probably the only downside I can say to getting Tweed, but I love Tweed. Even if this starts to pill up more over the years, I'll still love it. This came with a few loose pieces. This ribbon, I don't know if you can see it, like I'll put my finger behind it as contrast. This ribbon is a little loose, but this was the only one available, and I need to have that fixed, or I just need to not care about it. I haven't really decided, but I probably will go to get it fixed soon. The leather chain is, the leather woven chain is very nice. The only thing you might run into, so this lays perfectly flat when you want to have this on your arm, or if you want to do it handheld, and then sometimes it can be a little bit fiddly when you want to go to crossbody or wear it on the shoulder. You often will just have to flip it around a couple times, like the chain from it hanging like perfectly flat down to going perfectly flat up. Sometimes it can just be a little twisted, you know, and you'll have to take that moment to go like this. That didn't seem that difficult. It's really no bother, but I wanted just to mention it in case you run into it, and you know, I don't know, we all get bothered by certain things, but that is the only thing I can think of. I am not too worried about carrying this around. I'm never worried about it getting damaged. I had a teeny tiny splash of water on it and I just patted it dry once. I am careful about where I sit it down, obviously, because it's cloth. I'm careful about where I sit down any of my bags, but it's never been a nuisance. Okay, so that is a quick run through of this bag. Now that I've been using it for 3 months, I love it. It's so carefree. I like that it adds something different to my outfit. I really like mixing textures. Like, I don't like to have too many repeating textures. So for example, I have a small collection of leather jackets that I've collected from around the world. I got one in Scotland, I got one in Germany, all from thrift shops. They're all from like vintage shops or thrift shops. And for some reason, I know people do this and it doesn't look bad, but for some reason I don't like to wear a leather jacket, leather shoes or like boots, and a leather bag. Like did I say leather bag? Leather jacket. Anyway, I don't like to have all those three things be the same. So I really like that this can be a different textural element, or wearing like sneakers and a leather jacket. Just I really like what a Tweed bag offers. I did not expect it to be so versatile. Highly recommend them. Now, not all the Tweeds are created equally, and they do switch them up every single year, so it's just something to think about. But if you find one that you love, yeah, definitely take it home. I love them. It's been really carefree. So I hope that was helpful. If you have any questions, please let me know down below, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye.